Computer optimization, that's what this video is about. And as a trader, it's really important that you have an optimized computer. You wouldn't want to miss out on a trade, have your computer crash, or just be slow to respond to an opportunity that appears on your charts. So let's make sure that you optimize your computer, particularly Windows 10 in this example. That's the operating system I'm using here. So follow along. If you are using Windows 8 or Windows 7, that's okay too. Just note that some of the screens that you'll see are a little bit different there. But generally, you'll probably figure out what to do and mimic what I'm doing. So on the bottom of your screen, right-click and go to Task Manager. The Windows Task Manager is a display of real-time computer resource consumption. And now if you saw this sort of view, click More Details and you'll go to the more detailed view. Now, look at these different categories here. We have CPU consumption, memory consumption, disk consumption, and network consumption. The CPU is the processor. For example, we have NinjaTrader consuming around 3% of my processor at this time. It's also consuming 433 megabytes. But in total, 42% of the memory in my computer is being used at this given moment. Likewise, 8% of my CPU. 0% of my disk is being used, but this is read and write. This is not storage. So this is no indicator of storage here, so you can kind of ignore this. What I'm saying is a solid state hard drive is solid state drive rather, is a better hard drive to have. It's much faster. If you can upgrade to a solid state hard drive, you'll notice a speed difference, probably more than other components actually. Network I'm not using much. I'm not doing any downloading, so this is at about 0%. So the important takeaway here is if you have closed down a lot of your computer programs and your CPU is still high, above 80%, 75%, somewhere above that, you really need to consider upgrading your computer, or there could be something else going on with too many hidden processes running. Maybe you have malware installed somewhere embedded in your computer. Get that cleaned out, get that checked out. Your computer memory, if this is above 75 or 80%, again, get that checked out. If your disk is doing a lot of reading and writing, consistently high, consider a solid state hard drive. We can actually improve and streamline Windows a bit, and that's what we're going to get to now. So we might see an overall improvement in terms of resource consumption by minimizing the effects of the operating system. Because Windows, let's put it out there, it's considered a bloated operating system. There's a lot of unnecessary stuff, at least from the regular user perspective, that's going on in the background that you don't see. And there are third-party programs that you can download that disable a lot of these extra things. So let's go over a couple of these programs right now. So I've already navigated to the different websites here. I've got one called Attn. This is the one that we recommend because it's a little easier to use. This other one that exists, which is pretty decent, is called W10 Privacy. The URLs for these pages are right here. Here's Attn. The website or URL or domain is oo-software.com/en/shutup10. That will take you right to the page that you see right here. The actual direct download link at this time is this right here. It's dl5.oo-software.com/files/oo-shutup10/oosu10.exe. But please go to the actual website, go to the main page, click on download, and download the application. Download one or the other. I wouldn't download both. You don't want to have conflicts. So in this video, we're going to go with this program here that I mentioned before, oo-shutup10. Again, the difference is this one has so many different features. We don't want to have you disable something that causes problems later on. When you download the oo-shutup software, it's going to be a portable program, which means you double click on it, it loads right up, and you can see a bunch of settings right away. Let's understand here what this program is telling us. Okay, so we have here what looks like a list of Windows settings. Disable sharing of handwriting data, disable sharing of handwriting error reports. There are so many different settings here that could affect your computer performance and also your privacy, but that's a whole separate discussion. We need to use some common sense and go down these settings and think about what we want to disable. The more we can disable, potentially the greater the positive impact for performance will be. In case we have a question on any of these settings, you can click on the actual setting and it will provide a description. By all means, spend some time going down and clicking on each one, understand what it is before you disable it. Also, you can see there's a recommended column. The recommended items are checked off. That means it's generally safe to switch the toggle to green without any negative impact on your computer. However, if you go down to one of these yellowish orange ones or one of these red items and you choose to enable it, you may have a negative effect. Windows might not function in the way that you expect, and you might have to come back into this program and disable that setting or enable it, however you want to look at it. Restore it back to the way it was, essentially, to use Windows properly in that way. But for a lot of people that we deal with day in and day out, they simply use their computer for basic things like Microsoft Office, some trading, some light business work, and things like that. So that's what we're going to focus on. We do recommend that you create a restore point. You probably saw that pop up earlier on. So you can go ahead and create a restore point by going up to Actions and clicking Create a System Restoration Point. Now, what is a restore point? A restore point is a moment in time, almost like a snapshot, that you can revert back to should there be some issue. So you can use the Windows System Restore utility that's built into Windows and go back to a prior restore point. You wouldn't do that through this program. I'll show you what that utility looks like right now. So, should you need to go back to a moment in time, a restore point, I'm showing you how to do that now. You don't need to do this right now. This is only if your computer gets messed up and you need to go back to your prior settings. So what I like to do is hit the Windows key on my keyboard, and then I begin typing right away the words recovery, R-E-C-O-V-E-R-Y. You see this icon here. Click on it and then open System Restore. This is a pretty straightforward process. On this computer, restore is turned off, so I can't actually proceed to show you how this works, but it's pretty intuitive and you could likely figure it out. So I'm closing this out now, and let's go back to these settings. I've already configured mine like this, and by all means, pause the video and review what I've done. So I'm going to actually change a few more settings, because every time there's a Windows update, you might want to go back and see if anything has changed, because Microsoft has been known to switch things around. I've used Windows for many, many years. I don't need to see many of these things. And I'm not saying that any of these will have a huge performance impact. I just like to create a streamlined computer. Disable diagnostic information on this device. Yes. Your settings might differ, and I encourage you again to click on each of these and really think about what you need. One setting here that's rather important is this microphone setting. If you disable this, your apps like Skype might not work. So keep that in mind. Use great care as you go through each of these settings. There's quite a few things to go through. Once you get done, I recommend going to File and going to Export Settings. This way you can save your privacy settings or save your optimization settings in a single file. And after a Windows update, you can go to File, Import Settings, import those settings that you previously exported, and then right away you can have the same settings applied. You don't have to go through after a Windows update and check off everything that you once did. So that saves you a lot of time. So after you get things the way you want, unfortunately there's no apply button here in the interface. You actually have to close the application, and then it will say, hey, do you want to close the application? And then click yes or no. Click yes to close it, obviously. At this point, you need to restart the computer, and upon restarting, go to your task manager and see if there's an overall difference. Run your trading platform, run Ninja, see if there's more resources available. We recommend a computer purchased in the last 5 years or so. If you have any questions on anything in this video or any performance related questions in general, our support email is support@DayTradeToWin.com. Email us there. The website is DayTradeToWin.com. Thanks for watching.
If you want to learn more about trading, visit DayTradeToWin.com. Subscribe to the DayTradeToWin YouTube channel. The next mentorship class where we cover all of these methods with lifetime licenses for the software